If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you can support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skipped, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are truly unskippable and which ones belong in the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And this week we're taking a look at Beyoncé. This album is called 4, which is also humorous because the last album from last week was also called 4. Turns out there are, I think, somewhere between 15 and 20 albums ranging from the 1960s that are also called 4. So if anybody likes any of those, go to the Wikipedia page for 4 disambiguation music and send them in to skippod@gmail.com. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Next year we want to do 5 albums called 5, excluding the band 5.
Just for an additional level of challenge.
Yep.
Or is it because that it would be an instant unskippable for you?
Exactly. Everybody get up singing.
1, 2, 3, 4. 5 will make you get down, etc. Matt suggested this album. Matt is a chap I work with, so thank you for sending that in. Beyoncé is very much a left turn for us. Like,
it's a very distinct change from... saying that distinct change, I would say it's not typical listening, but based on the rest of the episodes of this podcast, it fits in quite well, especially with the likes of Adele, Florence and the Machine,
Kendrick, I guess.
Kendrick to an extent, Frank Ocean.
Yeah. It's not the first one to take us out of our comfort zone, but it's not even really... I wouldn't classify any of those acts as like radio pop. Like, I think Kendrick is very much like, gets airplay, just probably not on like Heart FM, you know what I mean? Whereas like you will hear, I've almost certainly heard some of these songs on like bog standard middle of the day radio. And that's not really a territory we've explored. So here we are. We're doing a Beyoncé album. And after we pissed off the Adele fans...
Time to kick the beehive.
Yep, it's not going to be good. I mean, we don't know that. We don't know it's going to be good or not. Because we don't talk about this.
No, we set a rule early last year when we started the podcast that we had to stop talking music that we were going to discuss on here because for one episode we talked about it in person without realizing and then just completely shafted each other when it comes to the review.
Yeah,
and it kind of put a bit of a damp squib on the recording for that particular album. I can't for the life of me recall which one it is now.
Was it late at the pier because we weren't having a good time with it?
I think it may have been.
That makes sense.
Because I called it a wet fart and a dry day, if I remember correctly.
It's a wonderful gag. So we don't do that anymore, so I have no idea how you feel about this. Although, is this your first time listening to any of these songs?
This is my first time listening to a Beyoncé album in full.
Same. If you've been listening to us for the last 20-odd episodes, you'll know that this isn't particularly our wheelhouse. It's not to say that even though the music isn't made for us, that doesn't make it good. Far from it. We've been surprised by things that are very much not made for us. Kendrick being like the top of that pile, like out of left field. I had no idea that genre could be that impressive. And I'm hoping that this repeats today. I've probably heard a couple of these songs in passing, but I don't think I could confidently tell you that A, listen to a Beyoncé album outside of Destiny's Child because the wife likes Destiny's Child, or B, that I've ever put any of these songs on by choice. This is very much, I probably would have heard them in a clothes shop somewhere, and that's probably the extent of the exposure I've had with any of this music.
Yeah, similar. I think the only real exposure I've had to some of these albums are listening to the radio when you're in the car with someone that doesn't have like an aux cable, or when working in retail. Those wonderful jobs that we had to do to get us by.
But it gives you so much character and experience.
It gives you so much admiration for people that own chairs.
Yeah. My God, does it? Oh. Just sit down. Every retail worker listen to this. Just sit down. What are they going to do? Tell you can't sit down? You can listen to them fuckers.
Anyway, going back onto topic. No, so Beyoncé, not an artist that I've had a lot of experience with. I wasn't a Destiny's Child fan. I preferred boy bands. I've heard, of course, like all the single ladies and some of the bigger songs like that. And yeah, not really ever sat down and gone, oh, I fancy listening to Beyonce.
Because I saw the year that this came out, which I think is 2011.
Yep, 2011.
Yeah, and I thought that was All the Single Ladies year. Not album before this.
Yep.
So
that was time ago.
It's surprising, right? Because that still very much feels like, maybe not the most relevant Beyonce thing that's happened in the world. People still talk about Lemonade like it's like this thing, and I'm surprised that nobody suggested it. But that is not recent either. That was 2016. So time is a flat circle. It's flying past us. But with this, I was looking down the track list before we started listening to it, and I went, okay, I know that one. And then I knew nothing else. Like, this is so not the music that we will either be interested in, or is made for us, or is marketed towards us, or is put into any of our recommendations on streaming platforms, be that YouTube or Spotify or whatever. This is not put in front of us. So, in many ways, Matt, thank you for doing that, because otherwise we wouldn't understand it. In other ways, well, we'll just get into the review, shall we? But before we do that, we do need the history.
So, this was the 4th album from Beyonce.
Who could have known?
Which launched on the 24th of June, 2011. The actual 4 reflects that it was a 4th studio album.
Mm-hmm.
It was her birthday, September the 4th.
Oh.
Her husband's birthday, December the 4th. And the number apparently has a symbolic importance in her life.
Okay.
Really creative album title.
Yeah, Foreigner, thanks you. Hang on, let me get that list of 4 disambiguation up. It's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, we need another 4.
Super original album title, considering that Foreigner also had an album called 4, as did Foreplay, great band name, Johan, Cumbria Kings, Led, Los Hermanos, Slash apparently, Super Silent, The Telescopes, Whigfield, Block Party, Blues Traveller, Fair Warning, Hampton Horse, Joe Henderson, One Direction, oh no, Seaweed, that's a band name apparently, and Charlotte Church. So if anybody wants to suggest any of them,
then please don't.
Please don't actually.
I mean, I would be partial to a nice Charlotte Church album. No, please don't.
Or an album by the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, apparently. Had an album called 4.
I think I may have listened to that one. Anyway, so this album was her release after taking a year-long break from the industry, which was her first break from the industry since her childhood.
Mm.
She did a lot of traveling, reconnected with music that inspired her. So that's why this album's got more of like a 90s R&B, Motown type of feel compared to other music in 2011, which was like the sort of dance trend was huge.
Was it the EDM years?
Yeah, that's the one.
So
EDM got really big in 2011, and she decided to go against it and release something that was more in her roots, which is quite comical considering I think in the last 3 years, she actually released her own EDM album.
Did she actually?
I think there's because one thing I will say about Beyonce, I don't follow her, I don't know much about her, but she does experiment with a lot of albums. I think every album's got a slightly different feel to it. She did a full dance album, and she did a massively contentious country album, which went very well for her, winning an award, which some people say she deserved, and some people say she did not deserve.
They're the best country Grammy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Not our place to state that, because we do not know shit all about country. However, I can understand that somebody coming into your industry and completely changing what's known of the industry and then just disappearing again would be irritating.
It does feel a bit like Michael Jordan does baseball for 2 years.
Yeah.
But also, it's been, like you say, it's contentious, but like critically very well received. And it's 28 tracks long, which is the most confusing goddamn thing I think I've ever seen.
But I'm looking forward to 2027 when she decides to go into her emo years.
Oh, the new metal Beyonce album will be a hell of a thing.
New metal, so Beyonce and Korn. Hearing Beyonce go, ooh, bah, bah, ooh, bah.
But with like that really like husky kind of vibrato that she has going on. You know what? Let's hear it. Let's not pass judgment until we hear it. I think it might be interesting.
I mean, just saying, Jay-Z, Linkin Park.
It did happen. Collision Course 2 when?
It did happen.
We need the Carters and what remains of Linkin Park.
Or we just get a completely random-ass band that no one's ever thought of doing a collab with.
What would be the weirdest one for it to go for?
Slayer.
Slayer would be Slayer would be weird.
Especially if they wore their Kill the Kardashians t-shirts.
It's not really new metal though. Like what?
But metal.
What was the name of the band that did You're My Butterfly? Sugar, that one.
Oh no, Crazy Town.
Yeah,
that guy died.
Oh, okay, maybe not them.
Maybe not them.
That might be difficult.
Yeah, he died after crack addiction. I'm not even joking.
No, I can fully believe you. Just like
we just need to find maybe Korn. He did earn that one with Skrillex, so maybe do some stuff with
why not?
The Knowles family.
It couldn't possibly be I mean, never do what I did for anything, which is go to subreddits because like I love Reddit for information. Reddit for opinion is a bizarre place. The Beyonce subreddit, like, very much love her, which is
Beehive.
Yeah, the Beehive. They love her, which I understand. They hated the album before this, like super duper hated it.
The one with all the single ladies.
That would be the one.
Is that I've got it written down. I Am Sasha Fierce.
That's the one. Technically a double album because she released it as 2 CDs. But the CDs only had 6 tracks on them.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. Apparently, it was meant to be a concept and it came out as Garbo, but I don't actually know. What I do know, and I don't know whether this is on your fact sheet or not. This is the first album that she made after she stopped being managed by her own father.
Oh, I did not know that.
So that's an interesting one because her dad, I think his name's Matthew Knowles or something like that. Was the person that kind of got her into the industry at a very, very young age, and managed basically all of her affairs, her money, who she was allowed to perform with, who she was allowed to be seen with, and it's kind of seen as like this very controlling figure over her life, which is why there's quite a few songs on this album where the subject matter is very much I love being free. Isn't being free great? And then you can see the path to country. Weirdly enough, I think that is. It's very much a pivot point, which I do have kind of something I want to say about the album as a whole in a minute, about pivot points and what makes pivot points the potential to be some of the best work that someone ever creates, or very much just the launching pad. But we'll get into that discussion later on. Any more fun and interesting facts?
Well, back to the numbers. I've got something that there weren't 4 of, and that's singles. There were 7.
7 is a lot.
7 is a lot of singles.
Which ones were singles? I get Love on Top.
We have Run the World, Girls.
Oh, yeah, that's on here.
Best Thing I Never Had.
That was a single.
Party. Love on Top. Countdown. Do. I Care.
I'm glad we both went for that and looked like
Countdown, I Care, and End of Time.
Interesting collection of singles. I think Countdown actually isn't. Oh, yeah, we had to have this discussion as well. So there are multiple track listings. We are going by the one that is on Spotify because 1, it's easier, and 2, technically every song from the quote-unquote deluxe edition of this album was released all at the same time. This wasn't a case of a album re-release 12 months later to kind of boost sales. It wasn't a case of it to coincide with a single release of like a new off-album track. It very much is. They'd recorded all of these from the same sessions, and then you could pay more back when you bought physical media to get more on your disc rather than less. So we're going to be evaluating the Spotify version, which they don't say is the deluxe version. They just say this is 4. And so the track listing is slightly different, but the original release did not have the same track order. And it also relegated School in Life, Dance for You, and a track which actually doesn't feature on the deluxe edition called Lay Up Under Me. They were relegated to the deluxe edition bonus disc. But of course, apart from that last track, because it's apparently the worst one, again, thanks Reddit, they were all included on the deluxe edition, which is the one that we'll be looking at. So technically, we are breaking a little bit of our loose rule about it being like the original track listing. But it's already more difficult than it needs to be, so give me a break.
And I had no clue, so I went into this without realising there was deluxe or extra tracks. So I'd already done 2 listens by the time that you come up. Well, no, sorry. I already done about 7 or 8 listens by the time you brought this up this morning. Mm-hmm. So I am not re-listening to a different order for the sake of it.
I can't remember what album we did it for, but I did do it. Oh, it was him. And I did it in the original release order and the new order. It still didn't change my mind. I don't think it will change my mind.
No, for this one, there isn't. I mean, if it was Lemonade, where it's a progressive story, it makes sense to have it in one specific order. In terms of this album, I don't think it needs that strict ordering.
No, I don't. I didn't get an impression that, like, I think there is a narrative, but I don't think it is a narrative that requires quite that much structure.
Yeah, it's not like a linear narrative where you need to see it from start to end.
No, this is it. This isn't a Grand Don't Come for Free. It's not a story.
Exactly. However, going back into it, so this album debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200, which continued Beyoncé's streak of chart-topping albums. And Love on Top became one of her most awarded R&B songs, winning a Grammy. And the album performed strongly across Europe and the UK, with multiple singles receiving heavy rotation on radio. The critics praised it for its maturity, vocal brilliance, and refusal to follow mainstream trends. And retrospective reviews have only strengthened its reputation.
Did it go to number 1? I know it debuted at number 1 in the States, which is not to be unexpected for a Beyoncé album. Just wondering if it did that in the UK. Yes, so yeah, it topped the UK albums charts. So it is a number 1 album, so it's another one to add to the list that we've of number 1 albums that we've done. It actually reached number 1 in a lot of countries. Just looking at this list, what's this? At the very least, there is Australia, Croatia, Ireland, Scotland. I didn't know they had separate album lists there. South Korea is an interesting one. Came top of their international.
I can understand that with the idol culture that they have in South Korea. So
yeah,
she'd be seen as a kind of idol.
It's big bombastic pop, which is what they like.
So yeah, perfect.
So it makes sense. Also charted number 1 in Spain, Switzerland, the UK, and the US. So and Argentina for some reason as well.
So I think this might be the first album we've seen at multiple number 1s that's had a mediocre review from most professional rating systems.
Yeah.
So we've got Entertainment Weekly giving it a B, The Guardian 3 out of 5, Pitchfork 8 out of 10, Rolling Stone 3.5, The NME 4 out of 10. So it's very middle of the road ratings in terms of what the critics are seeing, which is quite shocking, really. I thought it'd be much higher regarded.
I do see where the criticism comes from of it's a bit middle of the road, but I also think that there are a lot of extenuating factors surrounding the album that kind of can't be separated from what was going on. Most notably the management change and the shift from kind of like self-owning the act with her and Jay-Z. Like that is very much at this time would have been what's going on.
I was impressed at the amount of collaborators that she had on this album, I have to admit.
I don't know whether to be impressed or not, because like I this might be a too many cooks situation. Isn't there a track on this album? I'm going to double check because I don't want to talk mistruths, where there's like 20 odd names who are credited to the track.
Oh, I don't mean like producers. I don't really care about producers.
Oh, okay.
I don't like songs that are overly produced. I mean like the contributing artists, like performance credits.
Right.
Like how she has Andre 3000 on one of the tracks, and like she weirdly got Kanye in one of the tracks as well. Like there's just a couple of really strong backing vocals from different artists, and it's nice to see that she's got additional vocalists that she likes to work with.
Yeah. I ain't mad at hearing Andre 3000, but you know, it's actually Countdown that I'm thinking of, and it's not 20 collaborators or people with credits. It is in fact 10. I'm reminded that when I was looking at the track list for Cowboy Carter as kind of like a bit of a joke, there genuinely is a track where I think there is 21 or 22 people who get a credit on it, and it's a bit that's too many cooks.
It's one of the things now in the music industry in modern times that you could literally provide like a mic clip of a snare and you get production credit.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane what you can do now to get a production credit on music. Like you've got these writers that make these incredible songs and don't get a whiff of a penny. And you can get artists that literally go, here, on one song, and they make a like 10% or 1% of the track's value. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, we could sit here and have a discussion about like sampling as kind of an art form. We could sit here till the cows come home about that. It's not really much of a discussion I think we need to have about Beyonce's work specifically, or at least not on this album. Again, someone might suggest Cowboy Carter and then we'll be there, but not right now.
So now we've been through the sort of awards that it's had, the ratings, the collaborators. do you think we should just get into the basis of the review?
Shall we do it? Should we go to the good tracks?
Let's go to the good tracks, and I think it's your turn to start, good sir.
I'm just going to come out the gate swinging. When we did this, I did the first listen, and I said, there are confidently 2 good tracks on this album. I actually think, in my estimations, that's gone up, which is interesting. But the one that immediately I was like, oh, this isn't going to suck. This is actually going to be, 1, a good episode, and 2, not a terrible listening experience. The first track that grabbed me was, again, it doesn't feature in the normal track listing, but in the one that we're doing, School in Life, which is the 3rd track. I actually genuinely really liked it. I think it's good fun. I think it's an interesting kind of independence album. It's also very call and response, which can go, that can be being used as a vehicle, like a standard pop song structure being used as a vehicle to say, I had to go through all this stuff. And it very much talks about having a controlled childhood that then transitioned into a career, and then going like, actually, I might not have had a typical childhood and upbringing, but I've learned a goddamn few things. I have had an interesting life, and using that as the basis of your feel-good call and response pop anthem, I thought was very, very interesting. It also helped that it's generally quite upbeat and pleasant to listen to. So I think on this album, where there's a lot more introspection, I say a lot more introspection. I don't know how introspective Beyonce's work was before this, but there feels like an honest attempt to be introspective with most tracks on the record. And I think this one works because it recognizes how to match that to the instrumentation. Because if it was incredibly dour, which some of the kind of look backs in this album are incredibly dour, and then it was this upbeat pop R&B record, it wouldn't have worked. But she's made it work in this one, and that's what makes me like it even more. Did you like that one?
I did enjoy that track, and I think something else to put on top of that, I'm a stickler for hating repetition. This one does repetition properly. It has enough of a different interpolation for each passing segment to make it feel like an individual line rather than just going over the same thing over and over again. Like, there's so many artists out there, and I don't know whether it's just that some of them are filler tracks where they'll have a point and they'll just say the same line over and over again to establish it. This is going over that and doing like an evolved version of each line as it carries on, using the same sort of like layout, but changing the way it's done and making it fun and enjoyable.
There is an enjoyment. There is an element of fun to it. There's an upbeatness and kind of like a well-traveled worldliness to it. It's not to say that the track has kind of like an international feel. It's very squarely American pop and R&B, but it at least feels like an accomplished version of it, one that knows what it's doing. It's a well-oiled machine. I think that might have something to do with the production as well. It just fires on exactly the right cylinders. It knows what message it wants to put forward. It delivers that, and it makes it radio friendly, which that's a difficult balancing act.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you could have radio friendly and it'd be absolute dog turd, and this is not that. This is very much a song with a purpose to exist in this artist's repertoire at this period in time. It fits the bill. One that I think doesn't do that, but is still enjoyable, is Countdown.
See, I enjoy Countdown.
Yeah.
And not just because it features Boys to Men as the Countdown.
Is that them?
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
I loved Boys to Men growing up. So, like, the fact that they featured a sample from them on this track just made me happy.
Excellent.
Like, I heard it, I was like, that's Boys to Men.
I mean, it might be Boys to Men, and, you know, I know the Boys to Men might have been involved in the creation of many a child, but this is not the...
I like that.
Not the music that I would have thought would be coming out of soon-to-be a mother Beyoncé. This very much, it feels retro in all the right ways, because it feels like it's more so looking back at her early kind of late 90s, early 2000s stuff. There is an element of Crazy in Love to it, but it's not kind of repetitious from that. It's not just evoking earlier Beyonce works for the sake of going, remember how good this was. It's doing it to create a feel within the kind of instrumentation. So that does work for me. I think, like you say, the counting down is a bit weird. Like,
it's a bit weird, but if you know the track that it's from, it fits. It's a really fun play on Boys to Men and the Motown R&B artists, like the structures that they used to use in their songs. So it's like kind of carrying on and just evolving from that music which inspired her for this album.
Yeah.
So it's like I enjoyed it, and I think it was really rhythmically inventive.
Yeah,
I think that's a good way to put it.
the beat is almost like a dual pendulum. Like you can feel it going tick tick tock tock tick tick tock like that. And I think, I mean, there's some percussion in the background going on. I'd love to know who did the drums on this, because like you get that and there's like the roll that you get when you're playing snare. Like anybody who's done marching band snare will know that you got to achieve that rhythm, and it double times that, so it's like that, and that works because then in your head you're doing a double count like that, and then you got the Boys to Men people going 9 8 7 6, and that works. I just wish that the lyrics were more about time, which is a bit weird, because I just believe that there's a level of technicality and understanding that you need in order to be able to produce a track like that, and then it's just another let's fuck anthem.
Yeah, but this is, as you've said in the prelude to the episode, like this is her first album away from her dad managing, so it's the era where she's gone, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to have to be PG-13 now. I can be sexually explicit. I'm an older woman. I'm exploring my sexuality. And admittedly, even as late as 2010, it was like taboo to be overtly sexual in a public forum. It's like, why not embrace your sexuality as a young woman with the man that you want to be with? Like, fair play to her. She wants to explore her sexuality via music. Go for it. And if you're going to talk about sexuality via music, I don't think this is the track that you should be talking about. We will go into that one later on.
Yeah.
There is another track, which is, if you look at if you read the lyrics, are a lot more OTT than this one.
It's a bit more Mills and Boone than it is pop record.
Yeah, 100%. But I can understand what you're saying, but I do think that the lyric structure and the way that she wrote it does fit well with the rhythm of the song. And overall, it's a great track, and even though it is sexually suggestive, still works on the radio.
Yeah.
Because it isn't over the top.
No.
Like some of the others that...
It's playful in much the same ways that like an artist like Sabrina Carpenter is now. This surprised me, and this was good. It wasn't the only one that surprised me.
Did you like the Vine anthem?
What was the Divine anthem?
The Vine from Vine era.
Oh, as in...
Love on Top. Bring the beat in. Anything for you, Queen Beyoncé.
Okay. We'll talk about Love on Top in a minute, because, we'll talk about Rather Die Young, because I thought that was a nice little retro anthem, and I very much liked it as her version of going, look, I can do Whitney Houston as well, and that worked for me, and it wasn't any more complicated than that. There was a very good vocal performance. I think if you are going to do just a straightforward love song and or ballad on something like this, you've got to bring something different to it. And more often than not, that is going to come from the vocal performance. What I liked is that all of the instruments as the song goes on kind of shapes itself around her voice, which a good band will do that. A good band will take note of what will be the most prominent instrument in the mix and shape the sound around that. But like the guitar work that comes in later on very much shapes around her vocals. The piano, you'll hear it modulating as the track goes through to kind of mold itself to like the rise and falls in the, because she can hit some octaves, goddamn. But again, that's talking way too in depth about something that I just thought was very pleasant to listen to. And I was surprised that, I mean, on our version, that's like track 8. And he goes to track 14 on the one that we're dealing with. And that far down into the record, I'm going, oh, this is just nice. This is just really nice. I was surprised. And it's the same kind of praise I have for End of Time as well. I thought it's very, very similar to Rather Die Young. Not in terms of the retro vibes, but in terms of take a simple love song and shape it around the most powerful instrument that you have at your disposal. And I don't really have any more to say about it than that. I enjoyed them. I liked them. Am I picking them like track for track to put on? That's the bit where I struggle. I think I might actually genuinely go, it'd be fun to hear Countdown and pick that. Or I genuinely like School in Life. And I think if we were doing like a pop mega mix, I'd put that in there. Whereas Rather Die Young and End of Time are very much like, they are good, but they're good for this exercise that we are doing. I am happy that they are there to alleviate from some of the tracks that I don't like as much. Is there any ones that you felt more strongly than that about?
I know that you're going to put this in the ones you didn't enjoy.
Okay.
However, I did like Love on Top.
Okay. Is it the Vine effect?
No, it's not. I think it's just a really strong vocal performance from her. Like, it shows what she can do. It shows the highs. It shows the lows. Really catchy rhythm. It reminds me of like sort of 80s, 90s music where it's just really overproduced and fun. As you said, like going back to Sabrina Carpenter, it's like an early 2010 Sabrina Carpenter-esque type huge song, and I can see why it was everywhere. And I love the instrumentation behind it. I just think it's just got such a really fun, catchy rhythm that you can't help but sing it. And I think Vine might have had something to do with it as well. I am a kid of my generation, unfortunately.
Was it Smosh that were doing like the lip sync to it, and they're like doing like pulling progressively uglier faces?
Lots of people did that.
Oh, lots of people did that. Okay, fair enough.
It was like there's one I think that was more popular than the rest, and it was just this. I can't even describe the geezer, but it's just the most white man I've ever seen. Just getting angrier and angrier faces as he just went into the song. But yeah, it's not, as you say, nothing that I ever thought, I'd put that song on in particular, but I did enjoy that one. I've also got... I did enjoy Party. I do enjoy a bit of Andre 3000, I have to admit. I think he was a really good partner for her to have on the track. I think they worked really well together. The lyrical style bounces off one another. And it's another song where it's like, it's a fun escape from her dad, even if she does use the lyric, she dripping swagoo.
I'm not going to lie to you. The first time that came on, and the opening couplet of, you a bad bitch and your friend's bad too.
We got the swag sauce, she dripping swagoo.
I skipped. Like, I literally was like, I can't handle this right now, and went to the next track. So the first listen, I did not listen to Party. I went straight to School in Life.
You're not a big fan of Kanye.
It's not even Kanye. Like, it's just a shit lyric.
It's swagoo. I was like, not something I was expecting to hear. I have to admit, nothing I was ever expecting to hear in a Beyoncé song. However, once you get past that, it's actually a really strong song. It's not over. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I think that's why I like it so much. It's really simple lyrics. Once again, exploring sexuality. I think a lot of this album is just about exploring your sexuality on top of flying carpet.
Most people have like the. I mean, yeah, there's that element, but like most people make this kind of music as they like break out of like the Disney bubble, and they're normally quite early on in the career. They're not already a multi-million, multi-platinum selling artist on one of their breakout albums.
Well, I agree with what you're saying there. However, this feels like it was her breakaway, like her Disney breakout moment. Because if you go back to her albums before this, I don't think she had as much creative control.
No, she didn't.
I feel like this is her going, look, I can be a strong, sexy woman. I can make music about what the fuck I want to make it about.
Yeah.
You've kept me in this bubble since Destiny's Child, where you've used me as a sex symbol, but I haven't been able to sing about what I want to sing about, being a strong, empowered woman. I'm going to fucking do it now.
Yeah, I guess there's that. Maybe I just look back with rose-tinted glasses at specifically Crazy in Love, because that song was massive.
Crazy in Love. If you're using the words, I am crazy in love, and then you go back to some of these songs about swirling on it, babe.
Yeah.
It's like the whole parental guidance to 15 slip of a rating.
Yeah.
It's like that was her earlier foray. That's as explicit as she could go, that she was crazy in love, and now she's talking about twerking on a man. Like it's the evolution, it's the adultening, it's the ability to be overtly sexual if you want to be overtly sexual, and make a success doing it.
I don't even feel like I'm qualified to talk about the lyrics in Dance for You. I'm just that's not how me or my wife show love to each other. Like I'm not gonna dance for her. She's not gonna dance for me. It's a bit.
That's a just us activity, isn't it? Exclusively.
Just me and you, mate. Yeah. Look, if I want to love, I will go to my wife. If I want to fuck, I'll come to you.
Don't you just fucking know it?
Like, it's just I
love you, boo.
Love you too. I just feel unprepared to have that to look at it with critical eyes, because I just don't think that that's the culture that like me and you would have grown up in, and it's not translating later on in life either. I didn't have a coming of age moment that involved having somebody dance for me. That would have been weird and cringe. But we
are from very different
yes, we're different backgrounds to Beyoncé. That is
very different. I mean, we're different cultures altogether. Like, I don't think the English are specifically overtly sexual. Still, I think we're very, very, very,
we
very
thrive in repression. That's what we do. We do that, tea, and slapstick comedy, and those are the only things we're good at.
Oh, and queuing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but that's more nature. You know,
got an Olympic gold in queuing.
A wolf knows how to run. A Brit knows how to queue.
I did like I Was Here. I think it was a really strong way to end the album. I can understand why they put that last. I think it's a good outro track.
The interesting thing about I Was Here is that on the original
it wasn't listing, there.
No, it was there.
It was here.
It was there, but it was on the deluxe stroke streaming edition of this. It is track 14 of 14. It is the very bottom. On the original pressing, it's track 11 of 12. I agree with you. Thematically, it is the end of what she's trying to achieve in the record, and we can talk about it now if you want. I do think that as a pivot record, it is trying to achieve something by saying there will be a legacy beyond that which has been determined for me. And that's a very clear message. I don't think you need a fucking PhD in English literature to understand that. What's weird is that the original pressing then went, and to top it all off, Run the World is last on the record. It's like, that just doesn't work as like a through line. Like, the logical endpoint of that is not fucking Major Lazer. Fuck off. It's weird. So I actually like it a lot more on this. It's not a track. I kind of labelled them either with yes, I like them, no, I didn't, or question mark, which is I don't feel qualified or have no strong feelings one way or the other. And I originally had I Was Here as a question mark track, but I think when you look at the arc of the record, pivoting away from being managed by somebody who may or may not have betrayed the inherent trust of family. I don't know anything about that particular piece of Beyonce's history, but I think it'd be interesting to look into. And also then, like you say, evaluating the more adult and progressing themes and, using those themes to counteract with like retro-inspired R&B Motown kind of beats. You can see it there, and then you get to I Was Here, and it's the reason I am doing this is so that I will be remembered for being able to do it on my own terms. I don't think it particularly means that it was a track I enjoyed, but I at least understood and respected the vision.
I enjoyed it. I just thought it was it really shows off her stylistic approach to singing and her strong songwriting skills. I don't know how much of whether it was a track that a lot of people worked on, or whether it was specifically just her. Is this the track with a lot of people on?
It's not. In fact, there's only one writer attributed to I Was Here. It's Diane Warren, the scourge of the Oscars herself. You won't know this because you don't do the film podcast with me. It's fucking painful whenever Diane Warren turns up, because Diane Warren gets nominated for Best Original Song every fucking year, it seems. Never wins, has never won, and always puts forward the most saccharine, shitty song you've ever heard. Genuinely, like, there was a song, literally, I can't remember the name of the song, I think it was called I'll Be Standing With You or something like that. It was attached to a movie called Breakthrough, with the entire plot is somebody falls through the ice and sees Jesus. That's the whole fucking plot. That's the story. It's a shit film, and I had to watch it because I was doing every Oscar movie that year. It's a dog shit movie, and a dog shit song, and Diane Warren is a scourge upon those entire awards.
So, if you didn't work out, Mike is not a fan of Diane Warren. However,
but that song's not bad.
That song, I think it's a great roundup, and I agree, like, putting it before Run the World would be a strange way to do it, because this feels like the perfect, like, diminuendo to finish the album.
Yeah, it's like going Bohemian Rhapsody, Agadoo. Like,
yeah.
What is this curve you've created?
It's like doing a compilation album, going from rocking all over the world, or like something really fun and a great way to finish, and finish with Gary Jules' Mad World.
Yeah. Yeah. Show me a familiar faces. It's a good song, and I still like Tears for Fears. Any more on the good list?
I think, unfortunately, it's time to go to the great beyond.
Can
I start?
Score. Oh, please do.
Please let me start. I am going to start with the song that we discussed about dancing, good sir.
It's not good, is it?
It's not something that I've ever wanted to experience in the way that it's described. I like, fair enough. It's a sexy song. It's a great way to put it. Dancing for You is a sexy song, and I think if we were from an American audience, or we were more sexually open in the way that a lot of the world is becoming now, we might enjoy it more. But because it's not something that we have a lot of experience in that sense, it's like, it just feels a bit odd. Like, the thought of going to a strip club and watching someone dance like that in a strip club is odd to me, because it's not something that I'm familiar with. So to hear Beyonce sing about it like that is just a bit like, whew.
Yeah, ultimately you have to remember she's talking about what she's doing for Jay-Z, which is already more intimate than I needed to be.
Yeah, I did not need to know these facts about Jay-Z. But I think that's the only part of it I just didn't like the lyrics to it, because it's not something that I can get behind. I don't know if that's the right way to put it.
It's for Jay-Z to get behind. We know this.
No, please, Mr. Jay-Z, don't do that to me.
It's that I don't disagree that it's a bit much, but some of the bits aren't that bad. I think what I don't like about it, apart from the oh bit, that can fuck off. I hate that vocal sting. What I don't like is that it feels like I don't want someone as strong and kind of as a role model as Beyonce to essentially put out an entire track which appears to be an act of service.
Yeah,
like,
she deserves better than that. She's more than that.
She runs the world.
Girls.
So, like, exactly. So this feels like such a oddly misogynistic left turn, which is all the more confusing for me.
But it does kind of fit in with the theme of Motown R&B, but it's from the woman's perspective.
I get that, and maybe reclaiming it. I mean, people used to say this about WAP, of all songs, that it reclaims women's sexuality. And if that's what this is, I don't disagree with the concept of that. I just think the messaging is weird. It doesn't sound like something she's enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's very much talking about how it's going to make someone else feel good.
Yeah, it feels like a task.
Yeah. Put my body on your body. It's an oddly clinical way of talking about it, when she's also then talking about swirling on it, which...
That's why I'm backing this thing back.
Promise not to tell nobody. So there's an element of shame. So I'm just not sure. Also, popping this thing back just made me wince a little bit. Look, we're repressed white guys, okay? We can say that. But I imagine that there is a very active audience that are not fucking weird people like me and you that don't feel like anywhere near as taken back as this. But it's our podcast you're listening to, so we're going to say it.
And we're going to follow it up by saying, I cannot stand up with song Run the World.
It's a shit song. I'm sorry. I don't like the Major Lazer bullshit. I don't know why it had to be crowbarred into this.
Like, there are elements of the song that I do like. Like, there's when she isn't repeating the same line over and over again, it can be all right. Like, when you've got that little backing chorus as well, where, like, they're singing in unison, I like it. But with you, I hate the... It doesn't feel like it flows for the rest of the album. The album's very much 90s R&B, Motown. Has it just been done because this fits in with the popular trends of the era? It's like,
well, it was a single, so I think that's exactly what this is. The bit that I didn't mind was the pre-chorus section with my persuasion can build a nation, endless power, with our love we can devour. I'm like, that's actually kind of like, if the basis of this song was more like, there's no other way I can describe it than just Beyonce's going like, let's start fucking empire, basically. I think that there is something more empowering about that, but the repetition, I could not be any more aware of who runs the world, and I could not also be any more in doubt of how true that is. Like, just repeating it and saying it over and over and over again, it doesn't display power, it displays insistence, and it feels vapid. It's just like, oh yeah, girls are great, girls are brilliant, girls are fantastic. Like, yes, and what makes you great? And I feel like they were just scratching that with talking about how nations and empires are built based on their influence. I'm like, yes, let's take that narrative thread, let's do something with that. No, we got to make time for the major laser breakdown section and the voice modulation with the like, it's so
like a chicken on speed.
It really is something else, and it's such a relic of the time it was made in, because like EDM died in like 2014, and it was done, and thank Christ for that. But like, yeah, this did not need to be here. It weirdly
rip EDM.
Rip EDM. Why is this the album closer on the original pressing? It just doesn't make, like, this is not your big go home hit, right?
I mean, it does fit in with the rest of the album where it's a lot about female empowerment, and I can understand it, and I can understand it's a song about coming together and going, we can run the world, fuck men. I get it, completely get it, especially after everything she went through with her dad. Yeah. This could be a protest anthem. Yeah. And I can understand a lot of women got behind it. I think a lot of the LGBTQ community got behind it as well. It was kind of a march, a modern march to power. I completely get it, but the repetition just, it does my head in. I hate repetition where it's done for the sake of repetition. Yeah. If you can't come up with something else to go there, cut it short.
Which is why I'm surprised.
Or have an instrumental break.
Yes. I am therefore surprised that you had so much positive to say about Love on Top. Because I gotta tell you, if there's a song I hate more than Run the World, it's Love on Top. Because it's a song that I'm convinced, the first time I put it on, because I didn't put it on Spotify, I don't know why. I put it on YouTube.
As you do.
And I thought for a second, I'm like, I've put on like, do you know about Silver Gunner?
No.
Oh, okay. So he makes like meme remixes of songs that are really subtle, like so that you wouldn't know. So like he'll find the sound font for certain games and write the Flintstones theme tune in that, and people are like, is this the Flint? And it's like, is this Silver Gunner? Like, if you don't check that it's Silver Gunner that's uploaded it. And when we were it was on the 7th or 8th key change, and I was like, this has to be an edit. This has to be an absolute piss take of this song. I was like, no, this is very much the actual song, and this is how it was released, and this is what people like. They like an absurd amount of key changes that really doesn't fucking go anywhere. The song fades out halfway through a key change. The song can't commit. It's like aura farming for vocals. It's just doing it because it looks and or sounds cool. It's not a fact of it's adding something to the song. It's just, look how many octaves I can go up. Impressive, yes. Doesn't make for a good listen.
I enjoyed it.
It was so repetitive. I don't know how you don't like this one.
I enjoyed the vocal changes, I have to admit. I think that's what I liked about it.
Oh, I fucking hated it. And I say that as a fan of musical theatre.
Bring the beat in.
Is there any love for Party? Like, do people like that song?
I enjoyed it.
Okay, because I fucking hated it.
We've already talked about that one for me.
I know, but it sucks. I don't like it. We like to party. It's so weak. It's such just a fucking beer in your hand fucking kind of song. It's like this generation's fucking Sweet Caroline, all that. So it's lazy. It's just noise, and I just didn't vibe with it. I don't think I've vehemently disliked anything on the album as much as those 3 tracks, because the rest of it was kind of just, not for me. Oh, I tell a lie. Oh, I tell a fucking lie.
I've got one to round it off as well. See if you agree.
Okay.
Is it Best Thing I Never Had?
No, it's not, weirdly. It's not. That was very much of it's there and I don't care about it song.
It's just a bit over the top for me. It's just it's the worst mix of soft song and powerful vocals. It's like the wrong way around. It's like backwards Michael Bolton. It's like Michael Moulton.
Michael Notlob.
Wow. How did you know to say that so quickly?
I don't know. It's a talent. No, the one that I was like, this is categorically. I don't even don't know.
Do you care? That's the question.
I just didn't. It just felt cookie cutter as hell. Oh, somebody hurt me, but I don't care. I'm crying, but I don't care. Oh, but you tell me you don't care. Well, I care, and that's therefore I don't care. It's like, just make your fucking mind up, woman.
Okay, well, considering that we've been recording for close to an hour now.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I think, based on your reaction, I get the feeling that you're throwing this in the skip.
Right, okay. I told you that an evaluation of the album as a whole was coming, right?
Yeah.
And this is, as I have written it, my evaluation of this album. This has been described as a pivot point for the career, and I do get it. Done right, it is a breakthrough left turn, could be a generational genre shift, or it's the material that comes before either the greatest work you can ever achieve or like a massive downfall. This album reminds me a lot of the comedy special by Bo Burnham called Make Happy. Stay with me. Hear me out on this one. Bo wrote Make Happy as an allegory for performance and a sort of like farewell to live comedy. He wasn't enjoying doing it. He was having panic attacks whilst he was on stage. This was very much going to be an exit from this world. It means that the work itself is softer, and his earlier stuff kind of like played on more kind of early 2000s offensive internet humor, and that stuff from his early material, he would end up iterating on that in Make Happy. It's kind of like he would take something that perhaps would be an outlier in his show, like an introspective song about the idea of art dying, and go on to turn that into the main stuff about that. So Art is Dead is the one I was referring to there, but We Think We Know You from the previous special kind of comes into that. The thing is that Make Happy tried to balance the books between doing more of that introspection stuff and keeping all the harsher elements to keep his already invested audience on side, whilst he was transitioning his material away from live comedy. You couldn't have the cold cynicism and the otherworldly apocalyptic ending of Inside and specifically of All Eyes on Me without the transition to all of that in Make Happy, because it plays with active antagonism of the audience to what it achieved in Inside, being deathly afraid of the world and an audience, is by far the best thing he's ever done creatively, one of the most rich things to come out of the last 5 years, the defining piece of media from the pandemic years. But Make Happy was ultimately a stepping stone, and it's a stepping stone on the journey to being able to totally control the narrative and the perception of your performance. And that's what this album is. It is a stepping stone to get to where she would be on the following album. It's not that this record is bad. Far from it. I got a lot more from this than I thought I was ever going to get. But I know that this being that decision to turn left into something new always comes before your greatest achievements. And I think what we're seeing here is the blueprint, not the final product.
That's a great summation.
So it's skipped. No, it's genuinely, I think it would be very interesting to then have somebody suggest either Self-Titled or Lemonade to see if my theory comes true.
That's a lot more in depth than I was going to go. I agree. I'm skipping it too. I cannot vibe with Dance For You. I feel dirty listening to it in the car. I feel like if I'm sat in the car on the way to Tesco, other brands are available. and I have my windows down in midsummer and that song comes on, I will go bright red and people will look at me weirdly as if to say, what the fuck is he listening to? So, Run the World and Best Thing I Never Had, I'm just like that. I can't. I just have to skip them.
How is it that we've come to a Beyoncé record and I just didn't go, this is pop shite, and and actually like attempted to find a narrative here, and you just went, I'm too white and repressed for this?
Can you come up with a more honest sentiment for me? I am the whitest man alive. I'd give it a chance. It's just too much for me. I'm not the right I'm not the audience that it's tailored for. I don't think it's hit the same sort of level that it would for a lot of women, especially for like women different ethnicities as well. So for me, I would skip a couple of tracks on the album, and as is the course of the podcast, if there are tracks that you'd skip, regardless whether it's because you're too white
or too embarrassed,
then you have to put it in the correct category. So on that basis, it's going in the skip for me.
When I skipped Party on the first one, I was like,
oh, game over.
It was game over on listen one.
You don't want any swagoo?
I do not want any swagoo. I was surprised at how much there is here. I would be more excited for this. Feels like such a prequel of an album. Like the interesting stuff is yet to come.
Well, you know what you need to do if you want us to listen to more Beyonce. Please send in your suggestions for her earlier work, just to piss Mike off some more. But no, get those suggestions into skippod@gmail.com. That's skipdpod@gmail.com. Don't forget, you don't need that pesky E.
Or the P. The other P.
You're taking the P?
I am taking the P.
Okay.
Take it home with me. Can we tease what's coming next week?
We can do for certain.
Because I don't want our listeners to get left behind, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't either.
Is that the that'll do, won't it?
That'll be the segue. Get your mask ready.
We will see you next week. Thank you very much for listening to this one, and we hope to see you for very much a tonal left turn in 7 days' time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.